The Carter Mansion in Lagos, Nigeria, was a sight to behold. White marble floors, golden chandeliers, and high ceilings that spoke of wealth and power. But tonight, inside the Grand Master bedroom, chaos reigned. Emma Carter lay weak on the bed, exhausted after hours of labor. She cradled her newborn daughter, Lillian, wrapped in a soft pink blanket. Her heart swelled with love, but fear crept into her soul as she turned to look at her husband, Michael Carter. Michael stood at the foot of the bed, his jaw tight, his face twisted in disappointment. Another girl. His hands clenched into fists. Emma, how is this possible? Again. Emma swallowed hard. Michael, please, she's our child. Michael let out a bitter laugh. Our child? You mean another useless girl? I told you, I needed a son, an heir to carry my name, to run my business, to continue my legacy. Emma's heart shattered. Michael, you can't speak about your own daughter like this. She is a blessing. She is a curse, he roared. A tense silence fell over the room. The nurses exchanged nervous glances before excusing themselves. Emma's older daughters, Olivia, 10, Grace, 8, and Naomi, 5, stood outside the room, listening. They didn't understand everything, but they knew one thing. Daddy wasn't happy. Michael took a deep breath, then turned away. I'm done. Emma's hands trembled. Done? What do you mean? He grabbed his suit jacket and fixed his cuffs. I am leaving. I will not waste my life with a woman who can only give me daughters. Tears streamed down Emma's face. Michael, you can't just walk away from us. We are your family. Michael scoffed. A family? No. A real man has a son. You failed me. And with that, he walked out. The next day, Michael filed for divorce, cutting off all financial support. News of Michael Carter abandoning his wife spread like wildfire. A guest at the hospital had secretly recorded the argument, and within hours, the video was all over social media. #Michael the Coward. #Daughters Are Gifts. #Emma Stay Strong. Television stations, bloggers, and social commentators discussed the scandal. This is the height of wickedness, a popular talk show host said. A woman gives you 4 beautiful children, and you throw her away like trash. Some defended Michael, arguing that African culture prioritized male heirs. But most people stood with Emma. Meanwhile, Emma faced a harsh reality. She had no home, no income, and 4 daughters to raise alone. With nowhere to go, Emma took her daughters to her elderly mother's house in a modest neighborhood in Lagos. The house was small, with peeling walls and a leaky roof, but it was a home filled with love. One night, as they sat together, Olivia turned to her mother. Mom, is Daddy ever coming back? Emma hesitated. I don't know, my love, but whether he does or not, we will be okay. She wiped her tears and made a decision. She would not beg Michael for help. Instead, she started a small catering business, selling homemade pastries and local dishes. It wasn't easy. She worked day and night, often coming home exhausted. But she made sure her daughters never went to bed hungry. Years passed. Her daughters grew up watching their mother's strength. They learned resilience, ambition, and independence. At 25, Olivia became a powerful human rights lawyer, fighting against the discrimination of women. She stood before a judge one afternoon, defending a woman whose husband had abandoned her. Men do not create legacies through sons. They create legacies through impact. And no woman should be thrown away like garbage for something beyond her control, Olivia declared in court. Her speech went viral, and she became a national icon for women's rights. Grace, at 23, launched a tech startup that helped African women access online education. Within 3 years, she became one of the youngest millionaires in the country. Her biggest investor? A former associate of Michael Carter. I heard your father once said daughters were useless, the investor told her. Well, I think he made the worst mistake of his life. Grace only smiled. Naomi, at 21, entered politics, fighting for laws that protected single mothers and abandoned children. During one of her campaigns, a journalist asked her, "Miss Carter, what do you say to men who abandon their families for not producing sons?" Naomi smirked. "Look at me. My father left because I was born. Now, I'm making laws that people like him will answer to." The crowd erupted in applause. Lillian, the youngest, watched her sister succeed. At 18, she became a journalist, determined to tell the world the stories of abandoned daughters. Her first major story? Her own father. Meanwhile, Michael's new life fell apart. His young wife, Sophia, gave birth to a son, Ethan, and he threw a massive celebration. But as time passed, Sophia lost interest in Michael. She manipulated him into signing off half his wealth, then divorced him and fled abroad with Ethan. His business crumbled due to bad decisions and betrayal. Within 5 years, Michael Carter was bankrupt. Desperate, he tried to reach out to his daughters. One evening, Michael sat in a small, rented apartment, staring at his phone. He dialed Olivia. "Hello, Olivia," he said in a weak voice. It's Dad." Silence. Then, Olivia laughed coldly. "Dad? You mean the man who called us useless? Please, Olivia, I've lost everything. I need help." Olivia smirked. "That's funny, because now, my sister Grace owns a company you built. Naomi makes laws that will punish men like you. And me? I make sure men like you never get away with it." Michael begged. "Please, just a little money. I have nothing." But Olivia hung up. His daughters had become more powerful than he ever imagined. And now, he was nothing. Sitting alone in his empty apartment, Michael stared at an old newspaper headline. "Daughters of Destiny. How the women Michael Carter abandoned became the most powerful women in Africa." A single tear rolled down his cheek. He had spent his life searching for a son to build his legacy, never realizing his daughters were the legacy.